I've been asked to do a video tutorial for one of our members. Once you have your first row and it's all cast on, let's see if I can get my working yarn here. Once you have your first row and it's all cast on, it's going to be straight across. When we cast off, if you take that first loop and you pull through, I like to take a stitch marker or whatever you have around. I have, for this quick tutorial, a paper clip. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to cast the rest of the way off. And since what we're working on in the question that we have is a scarf, we're going to cast off until we have two. Whoops, that one didn't go through that. There we go. We're going to cast off till we have two remaining on our hook. Now that we have two, we're going to be starting our new color, and we want to have the new color start our row. And in order to have the new color start the row, you need to achieve this by casting off with the new color. So right here we're going to use red, and we're going to cast off using those two in red. Now we're going to go back and we're going to tighten this blue bobbin. We're going to drop our blue, and we're going to use the red. Now I only cast on 10 for this because it's just an example, but this one that's on your hook is your first loop. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus in on what we're doing. And then we're going to cast on our 10. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and for 10, we've got this paper clip in. We're going to go under the paper clip and under this paper clip where the paper clip is. If you look on this end, here's what I want people to pay attention to. Let me get into the screenshot. This right here was the slip stitch that we originally went in, and if you turn it sideways, there's only one strand there. And I know that people are going into where this one strand is, and if you go where just that one strand is, that's where you originally picked up when you went across. And I wish I could get this a little bit clearer. Let's see what we can do here. But when you turn your work, you're going to see there's only one. I can get into the lighting maybe. There's only one bar. That, when you pick up on your way across, that's where your slip stitch was. So you have picked up there. When you cast off and you put your stitch marker in, you're going to see there are two strands here. There's one here and one there. That's where you're going to go into to pick up your final stitch. If you go into where the one strand is, it's going to give you that drop down, so it's not going to be even when you come across. So we're going to do our final stitch, we're going to go into that last stitch. We're going to pick up both of those bars, and we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up. Now, Like I said, you can see the one strand down here where this paper clip is. I moved it down. You can see this one strand right here is your slip, where your slip knot was. This V above is where we put our marker before, and with it turned this way, you can kind of see the two loops of the V. You need to make sure that you go in where those two loops are and pull up, and when you do that, and you, my work's curling a little bit, when you look across, everything across is going to be completely even. So when you cast off that first stitch, and you can put your stitch marker back in those two V's, but when you cast off the rest of this row, and like I said, I did 10 for the purpose of just this tutorial. When you've cast off that row, and you want to check and make sure that it's right, 1 through 3 there, I'm going to pull this yarn out so that we can set our hook down. Okay, when you do this and you pull up, you're going to see that each one of these stitches comes right off of this line, and it is exactly straight across. It doesn't, you know, since you're going through this V, it does dip down a little bit, but if you kind of pull it up a little bit, you can see that this is straight across. There are some people that have had a little bit of problems with this, so they just go through the outside, this one vertical bar. I have done it that way. I find that I don't get a cleaner edge. I'm sorry for the lighting for this video. It's terrible right now. But if it's dipped down, then what you've done is in the beginning, you have gone through your slip stitch, and each row that you do that, your last loop will be down a row, and you're not going to notice that until you actually get to a color change where you've changed the row. But when you pull this up, each one of these, you'll see that it's exactly above each one of these little vertical bars. And I hope that helps. And with the second row cast on, you can see how this line right here, it stays straight across. This looks a little messed up, but it's just the way that you go into the last stitch. Once you work another row, this, you won't even see this. But like I said, every one of these stitches will line straight up across. I hope that helps.